Listen, it's weird saying this, but being an African American abroad in 2026 has become a weird privilege. While some Americans are being protested, denied services, and asked, "Who did you vote for?" I find I'm being welcomed with open arms. I'll explain why this is an unexpected plot twist of our generation. If you watch the news, you've seen it. American tourists are facing backlash globally. From Ireland to Spain, France, Mexico, people are angry. And here's something that no one's talking about. Black Americans are giving a little different treatment. So today I'm breaking down why 2026 might just be a golden era for Black American travelers. And if you're thinking about traveling, this might just be your time. Hi, welcome to Retro Afro Abroad. I'm a single Black mom who left the United States to start fresh in northern Spain. Click on the link to subscribe to my channel where I talk about what it's like to move to a new country, embrace the culture, and live boldly while being uncertain. American tourists are facing unprecedented hostility abroad, and it's not subtle. Now, everyone has seen that viral video of that woman in Ireland who walks into a pub, strikes up a conversation, and at some point she's asked point blank, "Who did you vote for?" Her hesitation was enough, like the warmth disappeared, service slowed down, and the energy shifted completely. In Spain, where I live, there have been massive protests in Barcelona, Mallorca, and other tourist hotspots. These protests have been against tourists in general, but Americans in specific, and there have even been signs saying Americans go home. The locals are just frustrated. They're frustrated with the economy, with ignoring climate change and how that's going to impact their future, the immigration rhetoric in the United States, the politics in general. The protests are not against Americans. They're really protesting what America politically stands for to them. And the world knows that there has been one demographic who consistently stood against all of the current policies that they're protesting against: African Americans. And the data is public. Everyone knows about the 92%, the almost 80% men who voted. The world saw protesting, organizing, and speaking out, championing progressive policies for everyone. And they know that African Americans are not the face of what they're protesting about. So, how does that translate to real life? Well, I can just share what I'm experiencing and what I'm hearing from other African Americans abroad. When I'm out with my son and people hear our American accents, I don't feel hostility. I see curiosity. And I live in northern Spain, so it's not exactly a diverse area. And what I see is that African American culture is everywhere and everyone's trying to emulate it. It's in the cafes where I hear the music and I hear African American influenced reggaeton. It's in the street fashion, watching the teens do the TikTok dances. And I realize that the world consumes and respects African American culture, even when they're angry at America as a whole. For a rare time in modern history, being both physically African descent and American is opening doors instead of closing them. So if you are with some savings, a passport, and wanderlust, listen, this may be your moment. If you've been scared to travel because you're worried about racism and they don't want us here attitude, I'm not saying it's not there. It does exist. But things have changed just a little bit, not everywhere and not perfectly, but significantly enough to maybe make this worth it. My opinion, I would say countries that are progressive, a lot of Europe, a lot of Latin America, Africa, of course, for sure, and Canada, they are actively distinguishing between the different types of Americans. And African Americans have always been considered as political allies, cultural icons, and as separate from the policies that they're opposing right now. Of course, the money aspect matters. Yes, the dollar is dropping a little bit, but it still has some power. And our passports get us into over 180 countries visa free, or at least visa on arrival. So if there was a moment, I would say it's now. So now the nuance. What I am not saying. I'm not saying racism has disappeared. It is very present. Anti-Blackness exists globally, and being American does not erase that. I have said before on this channel how in Spain, African Americans might be treated very well, but Native Americans are treated as poor, taken from the system, pretty much the ghetto queen stereotype of the United States in Spain. So yes, you can still face discrimination and microaggression in some areas. And for sure, this does not mean that you should travel recklessly or assume everywhere is safe. Do your research, take normal precautions, understand local context and culture, try to blend in as much as possible. Now, ideally, Americans should not have to face hostility abroad based on politics domestically. But we are in 2026 and unusual times we are in. What I am saying is that there is a unique window right now, and global politics has created a situation where African Americans have unexpected advantages in international travel and in world perception. So if you're dreaming of seeing the world, of giving your kids an experience beyond America, the barriers are lower than they've ever been. So here's my challenge for you. If you have the means and you have the desire, if you've been sitting on that dream of traveling or moving abroad, stop waiting. 2026 is giving you a privilege that has not been seen often. Being welcomed because you're both Black and American. Use it. Take advantage of it. Explore it. Leverage it for your good. And if you are already abroad, drop a comment and tell me, are you experiencing this too? And how are the locals treating you? I'd love to hear your stories. And if you are thinking about traveling, let me know where you're thinking of going. Hit the subscribe button. And if this video has helped you shift your perspective a little bit or given you that extra push you needed, could you share it with someone who's afraid to take that leap? The world is a little bit more welcoming right now. Let's not waste this moment. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.